What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of my mobile career mode, and we're here for the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. And as we're rounding the final corner on the start finish straight with 2 powerful sectors, down to the line we will go. Where will we end up? For now we will end up in P1, as this is SQ1. As the session went by, we ended it up in P2, so not a that good lap as the gap was pretty big. Now let's jump into SQ2, braking for the final corner, for the penultimate corner of the lap, exiting it into the final corner with again 2 powerful sectors. On the line we go, nearly losing the car, exiting the final corner, use the last bit of our ERS, and we only end up another time in P1. Now let's go to check out the results, and here we are in P1 with a pretty big margin to Lando Norris. Now let's jump into SQ3, but let me tell you before it starts, it didn't end very well. As you can see right here, as we're coming out of turn 3, down to the hairpin we go, and we brake way too late for the corner and run deep and onto the gravel, and the lap time gets deleted. As we are now trying a second run to improve our lap time, to even set a lap time into the first time we go. Both Astons are in front of me. I try to overtake them as the AI is still not very good at letting me pass. But now Alonso spins out and crashes into my sidepod, and I lose a huge amount of time. We're now already half a second down on Lando Norris, and as we progress into the lap, we even get further back with 7/10, and then we make a huge mistake, and our lap time gets deleted. And I left it with it because we didn't have enough time anymore. But never mind, here are the results. We'll start from P10 without a lap time, and now let's jump straight into the sprint race. Cover lights go off, and off we go for the sprint race with a pretty good reaction time as off the get-go. Lewis Hamilton nearly tried to overtake me as my launch wasn't that great, but through the first corners we make up a huge amount of ground, and we're already up to P5, overtaking several cars starting from P10, and we're now chasing down Lance Stroll for P4. Down to the hairpin we go, we make a huge launch down the inside, and we overtake the Canadian, and we're up to P4, where we brake too late before. We now braked right on point, and we're up to P4 now. Next up ahead is Charles Leclerc, and then we've got Lando Norris, and George Russell is already chasing away as he already built a small gap to Lando Norris, who is in P2, and then we've got Charles Leclerc right behind him in P3. And as we fast forward into the beginning of lap 2, we tap the side pod of Charles Leclerc and nearly lose the car with that contact and also a few seconds of time. But now into the hairpin, I tap his rear and he gets airborne a bit. Through the next few corners we go, he has a better run through it, but into the next corner I get a better run and I tap his rear tire, and with that move I overtake him, and we're up to P3. Next up ahead is Lando Norris, who's already nearly 3 seconds ahead. But within the next half lap I caught up to him rapidly, and as we go into the hairpin we brake a bit too late and take a very tight line, so we lose a huge amount of time, and Charles Leclerc uses it to catch up to me. And as we come into this corner I nearly didn't see him there and clap his front wing, and we nearly lost the car there, and now we're even further behind Norris. But within the next lap I tried to catch up to him as we fast forward now onto the long DRS straight, not with DRS yet as we are too far behind him. Onto the start finish line we go. In the first few corners we're catching rapidly through the first corner section we go. Now with the overtake button enabled, and we're now dumping all our energy as we are now 7/10 back to him. Down the inside we go with a huge kamikaze move, and we're ahead of him. We managed to overtake Lando Norris into the hairpin. Here you can see a replay of the move as I braked very late and took the tightest line possible into this hairpin. We both ran off track, but I am in front of him now and managed to overtake him with not losing too much time. This was a desperate move, but an important move as we think about the championship. I'm still not giving up to win the championship in a racing bull, but it will be difficult as the car is quite difficult to handle, to drive, especially accessing the slow corners where the car spins away very easily. But now into the final lap of the sprint race as nothing happened anymore, and Russell will win with more than 5 seconds gap to me. On to the start finish line we go, and we finish off the sprint race in P2, cutting the final corner a bit, but it wasn't that deep. And here we are.
Well done, mate. Podium finish.
On the podium in P2, after winning the previous race with a pretty big gap of 35 seconds, we're now standing in P2 in the China sprint race. And here are the rest of the results. Very interesting how they look like. My teammate ended up in P16. And now let's check out the Drivers' Championship standings. We extend our lead, and in the Constructors' Championship standings we also extend a bit. And now let's jump into the main qualifying. Here we are for the first run in Q1 with 2 pole sectors. The Alpine leaving us enough room to get past as he's not trying to impede me. As we are now coming to the final corner of the lap, into the start finish straight we go with DRS enabled. Down to the line we go. Where will we end up? We will end up in P1, and in the end it won't be P1 as it is P7 after the first run, and we only did 1 run in Q1, so a very devastating lap. Now let's jump into Q2 with 2 pole sectors, braking for the penultimate corner. Onto the straight we go, down to the final corner of the lap. Into the start finish straight we go once again. Where will we end up? With 2 purple sectors. Down the line we go. We will end up in P1. And now let's check out the results of Q2. Here are the provisional results of Q2. We ended up in P4, and here are the overall results. In the end we even got demoted down to P5. Coming through the final corner, onto the start finish line, onto the start finish straight with 2 powerful sectors, and nearly losing the car again in the final corner. Where will we end up? We'll end up in P1 of 127.968. And we are nearly 3/10 ahead of Verstappen, who picked the middle sector, the purple one, as we made a few mistakes by running wide in the middle sector. But in the end, we managed to get pole nevertheless. And now let's jump into the race. The 5 red lights go off, and off we go for the main race. We get a brilliant start and directly defend the inside, as Max Verstappen had an even better start, and we managed to stay ahead of all of them as they are trying to humble me down. You will get to see as the race progresses, but for now we stay in P1 and we get a great launch off the line and also exiting this corner. But down to the hairpin we go. Charles Leclerc is closing up and we position our car slightly defensive on the inside of the corner, and he had a little look around the outside, but he ran wide and Oscar Piastri uses it to overtake him and is now also trying to overtake me as I dump all my energy with the overtake button, and he is still closing and closing. Side by side we go down to the tightest corner of the lap, side by side, and exiting the corner. I can defend him, I can stay in front of him. Nearly side by side we go down to the final corner, and he had a little look on the inside, but I stay in front of him for now. As we are now starting lap 2, and the McLaren of Oscar Piastri is catching up rapidly as we are arriving into turn 1. He tries it around the outside, he brakes way later than me, but I hug the inside line and can stay in front of him and nearly losing the car, exiting the hairpin of that corner, and he tries to overtake me around the outside, and it works out. No, it's Charles Leclerc. What happened to Oscar Piastri? He's down to P3, and now I try to re-overtake Charles Leclerc, but Leclerc re-overtakes me into this corner. We go 3 wide, nearly 4 wide, and I lose several positions, and I'm down to P5. What the hell is going on? Into the next corner we go, down the inside, Omega dive on Max Verstappen, and we leave him enough working space as we nevertheless nearly touch each other, but somehow I managed to overtake him, and now over the long straight he directly re-overtakes me, and also Charles Leclerc overtakes me. He didn't even lose that much time as I thought he would with that kamikaze move from me down to that corner. But now into the hairpin, we make a double move on Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. But Max Verstappen re-overtakes me with a nice switchback move, and I have to settle back with P5 as we're now starting lap 3. Into the final corner we go, we run wide a bit, but we don't lose too much time as we now have to defend Charles Leclerc. But in the end, we are still staying in front of him as we are now already half through lap 3. On the long straight we go. Charles Leclerc is right behind me, and I didn't even get fully onto the straight and he already overtook me. Where the hell is my top speed gone? Even though I don't use the full battery deployment, it's still devastating. Into the hairpin we go. I try and had a little look on the inside, but it was already too late. The AI suddenly so fast, and within the next half lap he already kept me by nearly 2 seconds, and I run deep again into the hairpin. And now also Lando Norris gets a better exit than me and overtakes me around the outside in his McLaren, and I have to settle back with P7 now. But into the next corner we go. We use that corner as the AI is not so fast through that corner, and we overtake him, but we top the tires and nearly lost the car there. And exiting this corner onto the long DRS straight, he will nevertheless overtake me as he is trying on the inside. He squeezes me a bit with the DRS, he is through, and also the Haas tries to overtake me. For now I can't defend Ollie Berman as I have a little look on the inside of Lando Norris, and it worked out, but Lando Norris switches back and squeezes me off track into the grass, and Ollie Berman uses it to overtake me, but he leaves me enough room to breathe with, and I can stay in front of the Haas for now. But Lando Norris should get a penalty for that. This is unfair. Into the first corner we go once again. Now it's George Russell's time to overtake me, as somehow he managed to be that low in the race, to be in P8 in the Mercedes. I don't know how he did that, but here he is, and now he overtakes me around the outside. I don't even defend that much as it is a Mercedes and we're in a racing boat. But I had a little look on the inside, and he plays with me and leaves me a bit of space. And now the Haas of Ollie Berman uses it and also overtakes me, and we're down to P9. What the hell is going on with our traction into this race? And we re-overtake Ollie Berman, and he lost the car exiting the final corner, and he re-overtakes me. At least he tries to overtake me. Somehow he backed off, kind of. Into the first corner, he brakes way later than me and stays in front of me as I try to overtake him around the outside, but I overtake him on the inside. Yes, we overtook him, not. He makes the re-overtake on me once again and stays in P8 and will stay there for the rest of the race, I guess, as now Pierre Gasly comes and tries to overtake me from the outside, and I run deep and he uses it to overtake me, or he doesn't as he backed off but onto the long straight we go once again. Now he's very close. Side by side we go with the Alpine. He sweeps past me with ease, as his top speed is way better than mine somehow. I don't know why. But into the hairpin we go. I try to brake later than him, but it's hopeless. And Pierre Gasly overtakes me and stays in front of me. And now we've got Carlos Sainz in the Williams, who is now right behind me, and also the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. As you know, exiting the hairpin, side by side we go through this corner, and Sainz overtakes me around the outside. What a crazy move from him! But straight into the next corner, I re-overtake him and stay in P10 for now. As we are coming onto the long DRS straight, we nearly lost the car there as we tapped the front wing of Carlos Sainz, and he backs off massively, but Fernando Alonso uses it to overtake me around the outside, and I brake too late, way too late, and Fernando Alonso uses it with a switchback move and overtakes me, and is up to P10, and it's not working for me today, as I now use the DRS and the overtake button and don't even close up 1 millimeter to the Aston Martin driver, and I stay in P11, and it's literally hopeless. Oh, I tried to re-overtake him into the first corner, and it worked out, we're up to P10 again, but he overtakes me around the outside, and also the Red Bull of Isaac Hadjar, and we're down to P12. And down the inside we go. We had a little look on both of them, but Hadjar makes a crazy switchback move and destroys me in the hairpin, and is already away, and we are in P12. I had a little look on Hadjar around the outside, but he positions his car perfectly and stays in front of me, and now it's still Carlos Sainz who's right behind me and is trying to overtake me. In the next corner I can brake a bit later to try to overtake him, but he positions his car so perfectly that I can't even try anything, and on the straight he is away already. Didn't even enable the DRS and he's already away. And now it's the fastest turn of Pole 35. The rivalry continues from the F2. We're now here in China, and side by side we go, nearly exiting the corner, and it drives me completely as I had no traction. And in the next hairpin he is already 3 seconds away or something. And now I'm already fighting with Carlos Sainz and Gabriel Bortoleto in the new Audi team. Side by side we go. No, it's Carlos Sainz now who is side by side with me, and I tap his side but I lose the car completely and nearly tap the wall, but somehow I managed to stay from the wall away. No, this was so not right. We lost all positions which were right behind me, and we were already that slow, and now it's getting even more difficult as we are now already last. But what is going on? The Williams of Albon suddenly brakes way too early as I expect, and I rear-end him like crazy and even run deep, and we also touch each other and nearly lose the car there. We both tangled the tires and got caught each other, but somehow I managed to stay in front of him, but not for long, as he brakes way later than me, and I brake a bit earlier to let him through as I tried to switchback move, but the curb denied me from doing so. And now with the overtake and DRS, it's not enough to re-overtake him, as the top seat somehow isn't that good today. And into the first corner he places his car so perfectly that I always re-end him as I tried to overtake him, and it didn't work out, and I also lost the car there. And a few laps later he was completely away, and I was dead last till now, as Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso came to the pits. So we are up to P18 after several laps, and another 2 laps later to be exact, Fernando Alonso already caught up, and he's way quicker than me, as he was several seconds behind me just 2 laps before, and now he already caught up. Exiting that corner, he's closing and closing. Into the hairpin we go. He had a little look on the inside, and we position our car perfectly. Can we stay in front of him? No, we can. I thought we couldn't, but he backed off, and we can stay in front of him for now, as it is not going to hold for long. Through the middle sector we go, onto the long DRS straight we go, and exiting corner, just exiting the corner, he's already through, and there's no chance to hold against that. as he's on fresh tires and we're on old hard tires with no defense. Into the hairpin we go. We had a little look on the inside, but he turns my car around and I don't have any chance to overtake him. Exiting the hairpin another time a few laps later, as a few other drivers come to the pits, and we hopefully can make up a few places as we're now coming down to the start finish line. Another 2 drivers are in the pits, so we are up to P17. Into the first corner we go, and Carlos Sainz is now right behind me as he caught up once again. Into the first few corners we go. Onto this straight we go now. He is closing and closing, nearly side by side around the outside, and he backs off massively. We use it to stay in front of him for another few laps, as I am now confident enough to push a bit harder around the outside. He tries it and I defend the inside line. He backs off another time and we stay ahead of him still. Into this corner we go once again. Can we still defend him as we don't use the ERS for now, and we save it onto the straight? We now use the ERS. Can we stay in front of him? No, we've got a great top speed and he backs off again as I defend the inside line. He tries it around the outside and I can defend him another time. Onto the long DRS straight we go now. He's trying it around the outside and he backs off again as we defend perfectly. I can stay in front of him for even longer, and as now there are a few other drivers coming into the pits, we are up to P14. So there was 3 drivers in the pits. So into this chicane we go. We brake a bit too late. Our tires are already pretty dead, as the indicators say. And onto the long DRS straight we go. We have now got several cars behind us. And the Audi of Nico Hülkenberg is now right behind me. But with my great top speed, somehow I managed to get a better top speed now. We can stay in front of him. Into the hairpin we go. He backs off. And into the hairpin we defend the inside line. He had a little look on the outside. Can we now stay in front of him? Into the final corner we go. He has a little look on the inside of that corner, of the final corner. And onto the straight we go. And we can stay in front of him as we're now coming to the hairpin of the first sector. Side by side we go with the German driver, and he backs off another time as I try to squeeze him off track. Into this next corner we go, and we can even pull away a bit. But a few laps later they all caught up to me again, and now my tires are really fading away as we are now coming through into the middle sector and we run wide. This is the result of the old hard tires. And the Williams, he tries it around the outside and he makes a switchback move as we run deep. The Williams of Carlos Sainz, he is now ahead of me. I try to overtake him on the inside, but I take it too tight and I make a copy-paste mistake as from the previous career mode, if you remember, and I'm down to last place. This was the final reminder for me to change tires, as this was getting out of hands with the controls, as the car won't turn for any longer. So I decided to come to the pits in the end of the lap, as the tires really don't look that good anymore. As you check out the indicator, this isn't good for any further laps. Exiting the penultimate corner, running wide a bit too, and into the pit lane we dive in. We are already this far behind everyone else that we're soon getting lapped. This is insane. How is the pace so different compared to Australia? As you watched the previous race, maybe you will remember what I'm talking from. As we are exiting the pit lane, the Ferrari already lapped us and we are trying to unlap ourselves, but he squeezes us off track onto the grass, so this should also be a penalty. Also, never mind. Into the chicane we go, down the inside. I had a little look and we make a beautiful switchback on the Ferrari driver and we unlap him. And onto the straight we go. Can we now also stay in front of him? As we are exiting onto the long DRS straight, he's closing and closing, but we use all our battery and can hopefully stay in front of him by the end of the straight. Down to the corner we go and we fast forward a bit onto lap 26 of 28. We run wide in the first corner, but somehow we're still able to stay in front of him, but we run wide again, and now he uses it to lap me. at least he tries it. And here we go, he loves me down the inside into the hairpin. I had a little look, but on the exit he can put the throttle down earlier and get a better traction, as he had a wider run, so it was easier for him to get on the gas pedal. But into the next corner we go. We now finally lap ourselves, and this will be it, and we will stay in front of him, as we have now got the soft tires, which will save me from really big lap from literally everyone, as we're now starting a new fastest lap attempt. But Fernando Alonso retired. The Spaniard is retiring from the race, which means we will not end up in last place, rounding the final corner of a very devastating race. But races like this are also part of the season, so it's okay. But if we really want to fight for the championship in a racing bull, this is not good.
It's been a tough race.
And here we are. The race has finally ended after 42 minutes. It took a while, but in the end we managed to finish it off with a not so good result. But results like this are part of the season. And now let's check out the Drivers' Championship standings, as we lose 2 places, but it's not over yet. There are still 13 races to go. And here are the Constructors' Championship standings. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.